it's me, Bree, and we're gonna do something which is actually gonna be kind of boring. I'll film 2 videos today. I just got new corsets in from Corset Deal, so I'll be filming that after this one. But real quick, I just wanted to go over, I guess, kind of like a little story time or whatever about my PVC corset. So I got my PVC corset as a replacement for my mesh corset, which the waist tape broke in. There's a whole video about that on the channel already. I don't have that many videos, so it's not hard to find, but it's like why I now have 5 corsets or something. But even when I put my PVC corset on for the first time, then I noticed that it closed pretty tight. Like when I put it on, just trying it on very softly for the first time, I could easily tighten it to where it covered the modesty panel, and that's with it like barely touching my waist. And I noted in that video how I thought that was kind of weird because my other corsets at the time, the mesh one and the ivory one with the clasps in the front, they didn't do that. So I remember noting it was weird, but I was newer to corseting. I'm still new. And B, I just figured maybe it had something to do with the material, or the modesty panel was bigger or something. I just like brushed it off. So I've been wearing that corset a whole lot, especially before I got my 4 corsets after that, because it was the only one I could stuff under my clothes. I only had that and the ivory one as underbusts, and that ivory one has those big old like hanger, I don't know what to call them, but these big old hooks that don't stuff under clothing. So of course I was wearing that all the time. And I just always noticed though that the lacing gap on that always closed much tighter than on my ivory one. But again, I brushed it off. Well, I started filming a series recently that I'm currently editing, so it's not up on the channel yet, but hopefully next week I can get it up. But the series is about me seasoning my new white underbust corset and me trying to season it before my state board test day. In that video, I was training in the black PVC mostly, and then seasoning the white one. So I'd switch between the two, and I noticed, I don't know, for some reason I started questioning the tightness of the, or I guess looseness of the PVC one again, and how the lacing gap was so much smaller than these other corsets, and how weird it was. And I finally made the decision then to like sit down and actually measure my corsets. After measuring the corsets, I realized that I wasn't crazy, and the black PVC corset was indeed larger than my other 2 corsets at the time, the white one and the ivory one. When I measured the PVC corset, it was 12.5 inches on each side. So hopefully I can figure out how to do pictures, and I can like put pictures here. But I measured each side of the corset, and each was 12.5 inches. If you don't know, which I don't know why you would, I only know this because I emailed and asked the customer service a while back about their like sizing of their corsets. And the way Corset Story constructs their corset is with a 2-inch lacing gap allowance. So a size 24 corset is 24 inches with a 2-inch lacing gap. So if you were to lace it all the way closed, no gap, a 24-inch corset would fit 22 inches around the waist, because 24 minus 2. When I measured the black PVC corset, it came up to 12.5 inches on either side. That means with a closed lacing gap, it would be 25 inches fully around the corset. And with a 2-inch lacing gap, it would be 27 inches. So of course, that's way off. Even even all the way closed, it doesn't reach to 24 inches. So obviously I was like, that explains everything. I can lace down to about 27 inches, and I noticed my lacing gap was about 2 inches when I would get it down to 27. I wanted to make sure this was the only corset like that, or I wasn't like doing some weird math or anything. So I measured my 2 other underbust corsets that were also 24 inches. So that would be the white one I was training at the time and my ivory one. Both of those are also a little off. So when I measured my other 2, the ivory was 1/2 inch off. So one panel was 11.5 inches and the other panel was 11 inches. And my white one was 1 inch off. Both panels were at 11.5 inches. This, of course, led me to then contact customer service about, you know, what's obviously a problem with my black PVC. I told them about all 4 corsets and even sent my pictures of me measuring each corset. Like always, they got back to me super fast, answered my questions, and the person I was connected with agreed that measurements actually of all 3 were off from their patterns and definitely had to be some kind of like defect. The person I was talking to offered to exchange all of them, which I only accepted the exchange for the black PVC one. I said the other 2 don't really matter that bad. Like, I figured the sizing difference on the ivory one could be attributed to like normal wear, since I didn't measure them straight out the box, but after training it, and the ivory one is the one I had trained the most. So I figured that could be chopped up to wear easily. Also, the ivory one was a pattern that they were discontinuing, so I couldn't get another one of that size either. He would have let me choose a different corset to replace it with, but I didn't see the need. I'm still gonna wear the ivory one. I really like that one. As for the white one, I figured it could be normal wear as well. And if not, it just to me didn't matter that much. It wasn't off enough to like really affect anything. It's not like I can lace it all the way down anyways, and it just seemed like a hassle to go through the seasoning process for a whole nother corset that I already own because of like 1 inch. Especially since with Corset Story, when they replace a corset, they don't ask you to send the old one back, which kind of surprised me. When the waist tape in my mesh corset broke, I asked them if they wanted me to send it back for the one that I was exchanging it for, and they were just like, no. I don't think I even got an answer. They just sent me a new one. So yeah, it just doesn't seem worth it. So I only got the black one exchanged. That was the only one that was so off that even closing it all the way, it didn't reach the size on the waist. So I did that. It's super easy. Like, I got it within it being restocked. So it only took a few weeks. It took like an extra couple weeks because they didn't have any in stock, but the moment it came in stock, they shipped it to me. I got it here, no problem. So I got both corsets here. On top, I got my one that is not exactly the right size, as well as the replacement corset right here. It was a good thing that I got it replaced too. I would still wear this one while I was seasoning my white one until I noticed the busk like busted through the seam. I don't know. Oh, there we go. You can see it because the busk is white, which really sucks because I figured since I was getting a replacement for this one, I could still use it more to do, I guess, kind of like experiments with. I want to experiment with like bending the busk, but I'm afraid I'm gonna mess up. So I wanted to do it on this one, but with it being broken, it just, I don't know. I'll probably still use it to try that out on. I just won't be able to like wear it like I wanted to and really see if I like it better that way after wearing it for a long time. I'm afraid it'll like break more or something, but I'll probably still test out busk bending on this one because it is something I think I'll like. So here I have the two corsets. I've got them lined up with the hook sides of the busk, but I don't know if you can really see that. This is the new one and this is the old one. I did measure the new one when it came in. I haven't even tried it on yet, but it seems to measure true. I can do that again for you guys real quick. So as you can see from the pictures I'll have up right here, I measured each side. The first picture is of the side with the modesty panel and the hooks of the busk on it. You can see that it does measure true to 11 inches. It might look a little bigger, but you have to account for the modesty panel sitting on the side, so it's not stretched as like tight as it could be, and I couldn't hold the corset while taking the picture. In the second picture, it's the pin side, so you can see there is no modesty panel. It's a lot easier to lay it across. If you look, you can see that at the edge of the corset, it hits about 11.5, if not 11 3/4 inches. That's because there's a modesty placket where on the pin side that juts out a little bit further than the pins themselves. That's about 3/4 of an inch thick. So you have to account for that when you're looking at this. But that seam right before, I don't know if you can see it in the picture very well, but there's a seam right before the edge of the corset that's also on the black PVC. That's all the modesty placket. So if you measure up to that seam, you'll get the true size of the actual corset. So with quick math, 11 plus 11 is 22. This corset would measure 22 inches around the waist, fully closed, and 24 inches with a 2-inch lacing gap. So it does measure true to size. Everything's fine. You can see that, or as you saw from me holding them together, there's like a noticeable like size difference between these two corsets. I don't think that normal like wear and like stretching of the corset from using it could account for that big of a difference. Like, even though it's PVC and PVC could be more stretchy and have more give, it still has a cotton lining and the strong waist tape in there, so it shouldn't be able to give like so many extra inches. But yeah, that's great. I think I'll try this on for you guys. I haven't tried it on yet. We'll see. I'll do that for you guys real quick. I am wearing my white underbust right here, but I'll try the black one on over my clothes. All right, so as you can see, I got the black PVC corset on. Here's what it looks like in the front. A little closer look. And I'll turn around to the back. You can see I got it still at a wide lacing gap, of course, because it's not broken in, but it feels comfortable. It's definitely like feels wider than what I could get the other one. I did cover the modesty panel, but unlike when I first started seasoning the first corset, I've already been wearing corsets for a while and my body's a little bit more squished, so I can get tighter now than I could then, even on first wear of a new corset. So let me go on and measure the waist for you all. So it looks like I've got it laced down to a 29-inch waist right now. I normally measure down to a 28 or a 27. And yeah, I feel like this lacing gap is probably right for that kind of measurement. I think that is wider than on even my other seasoned corsets. So should be good, shouldn't have any problems with this one. I can't wait to get it seasoned so I can wear it around under my clothes mostly, but I like how this kind is slipperier than the cotton ones I have, so it does slip under my clothes a lot easier. Also, I like black because for me and having darker skin, a black corset is a lot easier to stealth than a white corset that kind of contrasts to my skin. So yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I did measure my other corsets that I got when I got the white one, since I have not seasoned those yet, and they do measure true to size. So this just seems to be probably like a one-time fluke, no big deal. And I'm glad it was so easy to resolve. Hopefully I'll be able to film my try-on video of my new corsets and get these up fast, and also get my other video I've been working on for a lot longer up. And sorry I'm bad at uploading. I tried to get better, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened in my life that just took me out for a couple of weeks. But hopefully I'm back and I can get all this done. And yeah, that's all for anyone who's watching. I don't think anyone is though, so no biggie. Bye.